it really says so much about what low life groups of people gravitate towards the Democrat Party. You have a guy who's a Nazi. He's a Nazi. He's got a Nazi tattoo on his chest, and that doesn't get these Democrats to distance themselves. In fact, after the Nazi tattoo came out of Graham Platner, the Democrats are stepping on top of each other to endorse him. Top Democrats like Schumer, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren. Even after the Nazi tattoo, they're out there endorsing and campaigning. And now he has this um, violent sexual assault accusation. And this it's an interesting thing because what this Graham Platner story is about, it's about the fight between the Democrat Socialist, the undercover commies, and the Democrat Party establishment. Because if you look at this story, the story came out just with a brief mention. There was one accuser, I don't know, a month or so ago, but she was a Republican, so they discounted it. This girl held on to her story. And then when this battle began between the Democrat establishment and the Democrat Socialists, which was about 1.5 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, that's when all this started to go off the rails. So Politico did a 2-week investigation. So if you look at this, I'm going to cover this on the morning show today. The Politico investigation began right around the time that the Civil War in the Democrat Party was announced, right? Carville, Rahm Emanuel, and others. About 2 weeks ago, that's when Politico got on this. And then CNN interviewed the rape victim accuser last night, which I'll play some of the highlights of on the morning show today. So Politico broke the story. That's a hardcore Democrat establishment publication. CNN did the interview. That's another Democrat establishment news outlet. So the Democrat establishment have exposed Graham Platner as part of the civil war inside the Democrat Party. That's what's going on here. That's right. Welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. No spamming, Fluffy Campos. I get your thing there, but no spamming. Only warning. But so this is really, it's amazing, and it shows you what's going on. So the Democrat establishment have made a decision that they are going to lose the Senate seat in Maine to stop the Democrat Socialist takeover of the Democrat Party. That's it. That's just what they've decided, right? Think about that. The Democrat establishment, they had a chance with Graham Platner to beat Susan Collins. She was ahead in the polls, but barely. So really within the margin of error. So what was going to happen in the main Senate race was an unknown, a complete unknown. But now we know that Susan Collins will win. Even if Platner doesn't drop out, she will win. This is the end of him. So for the Democrat establishment to make a conscious decision to just sacrifice the main Senate race that was in reach to stop the Democrat Socialist of America, tell you what's going on here. I mean, this is a beautiful time to be a MAGA Republican. No doubt about that. Very exciting. It is. And you got to wonder what other races are the Democrats prepared to lose to maintain. See, what the Democrat establishment are fighting for is not to win the midterm election. They're fighting to maintain control of the party. And they would rather control the Democrat Party after a major midterm election loss than lose control and have a Democrat victory in the midterms with the Democrat Socialist of America, communist, in control of the party. It's really fantastic. And I'm surprised that people aren't picking up on this. But that's what I'm going to lead with today on the morning show. Fox News, I mean, they're just talking about the World Cup last night, like anyone cares, really. You know, this is the lead story with what the Democrats are doing with Graham Platner. And I will be taking your live calls about this on the program today. The number will be pinned in the live chat. It'll be live in about 30 minutes or so. But the MAGA Republicans, we are going to win the midterms, and the way things are going, gain seats in both houses. So this is this is really a great time. The Democrat Socialist of America are run by ideologues that are arrogant, young, immature, don't really have a lot of world experience, and they don't understand what they're doing. But that's okay. We don't want the Democrats to get organized. A Democrat civil war is perfection. I don't think I've ever seen the Democrats sacrifice a congressional seat, and this is a Senate seat, so that's pretty hardcore. That has not been vulnerable in a long, long time, and they've just we're going to give up. We're going to let Susan Collins win. That's what the Democrats said. That is amazing. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. And man, oh man, on the next stream, I'll be live in the studio taking your live calls on the air. Oh, yeah. It's a MAGA nation. Mm-hmm. Yep. And the story is so Politico's investigative report on this Graham Platner story is some of the biggest, most detailed investigative journalism I've seen a liberal publication do in decades. They not only did they talk to her, they talked to her therapist, they talked to her boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, friends. They've got text messages. They have communication with her therapist. I mean, it's really it's one of those things you cannot contest. It's just the truth. But the Democrats are. Do you know of another time where the Democrats have knowingly sacrificed a seat? No, they have. The Democrat Party establishment made a decision to sacrifice any hope of winning the Senate seat in Maine. And it's not so much about Graham Platner. If you remember the girl in the Politico, the victim in the Politico story, and with Jake Tapper, she says, I agree with Graham Platner, and I didn't come forward because even though he raped her, she agrees with his political agenda. I mean, think about that. It's crazy. Just complete crazy talk. And they pulled her out just for this. This is what happens, man. That's what happens. I don't think I've ever seen the Democrats do something quite like this, ever. Mm-mm. Well, most of them are not Democrats. They're Democrat, socialist, communist, right? Bernie's not a Democrat. AOC's not a Democrat. Mom Donnie's not a Democrat. In heaven, thank you for that super chat. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah. So, this is something else. And I would not be surprised if when Bernie's up next time, the Democrats purge Bernie too, because he's behind a lot of this, and this is going to have a major impact. The Democrat Party is very powerful and very well connected within their own ranks, and they're going to go on a Democrat Socialist of America commie purge bigger than Joe McCarthy right now. And this is the first one. Now, some of them are a little too deep for them to do much about, but they do not want the Democrat Socialist winning seats. They don't want them to go to Congress. They know if they send more of them to Congress, they're done. They have too many. They got to get rid of the squad. They got to get rid of AOC. They got to get Bernie Sanders out of his seat, or they are done as a political party. And I've never seen them so panicked. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Do you know of another instance when the Democrats have sacrificed a seat in Congress? I don't. I've never seen anything like this. They have made a decision to lose that election in Maine. It has nothing to do with the Nazi tattoo didn't bother them. This accusation they've known about for a while. They just want to stop the Democrat Socialists from taking over their party. It's amazing. And when they're done, there's going to be so much damage. It's going to take them years to recover from this. But they got a long game they're playing. This is so much bigger than Graham Platner. So that's what I'm going to lead with today on the morning show because it's so important, no doubt about it. Well, listen, guys, I've got to run because I've got to get in the studio and get set up to go, but I'll see you shortly. All right, take care.